Hello, hello. Hello, everybody. I hope you are well. I'm going to try something new today. That's down just a tiny bit. That hopefully is going to save some time so I can get more readings done. But let's see. Hello, hello, everybody. Oh, wait. Oh, error occurred. Restarting. I hope you are all well. If you are new here, just to let you know that here every day at noon Central Time in the U.S. And we usually spend the first 10 minutes or so, with you guys asking me questions. Please make sure you put them all in all caps in the chat, because people here are really nice, they're really friendly, and they talk to each other, and if it's in all caps, then I'm more likely to see it. So there's that. I can't answer every question, but it is absolutely nothing personal, because I've got to go with my gut and what it's feeling like I should read on. And if I don't read on your question today, there's always a chance it's going to come up again, because, the big stuff does. So, also, I've been working things out, and so probably the end of the first week of April, I will be giving my quarterly donation, because for anyone who's new, 10% of all income, gross, before any expenses, 10% of all income for anything to do with Black and Orange, 10% goes to feedingamerica.org to supply food banks all across America. And so my quarterly donation will be going right around the 7th of April, it looks like. Okay? And I will put details about that up on Patreon for usually the public, for anybody to see. So anyway, I'm trying something new today. Okay, because you guys are so great, and I'm hoping this is going to save time so I can answer more questions. So what I'm going to do is you can probably see on the screen, I'm looking at your chat questions. I'm also, if I turn this, you can see, thank you, Deborah. Thank you so much. I've got Word here open, and it's small. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight your questions. I'm going to put them over here, and then make that a little bit bigger while I'm reading, so that hopefully it won't take so much time writing things down. Okay, so we're trying something new today. So I'm scrolling back up for anything in caps. Mims has a good idea. Let us all contemplate joy today for at least 3 minutes. I like it. Wandering Eyes is asking, have you heard about a drug being developed in Cuba that is thought to be, and I think you meant helping. There's every time I've read on this, there are so many people working. There's so many people throwing stuff at this. So let me scroll down. More questions. Thank you, Becca. That's kind of you to say that. Okay, here we go. Is this virus airborne? Okay, we'll start with that over here. Next, why is Trump not believing in science and listening to the scientists? Because he's a malignant narcissist? But sure, let's ask him. Next. Oh, this is much faster. How will... trucking and drivers fare? Good question. Good question. Fair. Oh, thank you, Wandering Eyes. That's kind of you. Is CERN causing the Mandela effect? I'm usually doing political stuff, but that is a fun question. I will just add it to the list. Maybe there's something I can look at, because soon, I don't do enough for patrons. And I have to apologize to all of my patrons if I have not gotten back to you in your messages recently, in the past like week or so. I'm sorry, it's been crazy. But I have not forgotten you, and I will be responding. And thank you so much. I don't do enough for my patrons. I don't. And but one thing I'm trying to do at least once a month, is an anything but politics session, which I am thinking about doing Saturday evening. We'll see. I'll make out you know me, I make out a nice little printout and I put it on the clipboard, and yeah, so anyway. We can look at, is CERN causing the Mandela effect? But, oh, thank you guys. Is there a possibility Andrew Cuomo could be the Democratic nominee for the president in 2020? But sure, why not? Let's look at it. I am here to help you guys in any way I can. I feel terrible for Mississippi, whose governor will not lock that state down pretty rough. Yes, Mims, it's terrible. And again, thank you, Deborah. Oh, we jumped. I don't like when it jumps. It jumps to the end. Okay, can you read on Joe Biden's health? Sure. Oh my gosh, this is saving so much time. Will Queen Elizabeth get the virus? Good question. By the way, I did not have a pleasant experience reading on Prince Charles yesterday and his health, but apparently he's fine. He's oh, thank you, Linda. He is resting at home, or he's gone up to Scotland, and thank you. And have I caught up? Is that, oh my gosh, Texicana, is that a kitty in a box? Okay, that has to be, that is Chill W Cat. I have got to find that is awesome. Okay, oh, okay, here we go. And hang on. Queen Elizabeth get the virus. Next thing that's in all caps is Autumn, you rock for us. Thank you, Mims. Trying. Boy, you got lucky, Dave. You didn't put everything in caps, but the two people after you did. So I see your question. So if I ever don't answer one of your questions, you can know. Why does America believe in socialism for the wealthy and rugged individualism for the poor? Good question. Will the jobless claims soar? Well, the jobless claims have soared to 3.28 million. After 9/11, the jobless claims were 500,000. After the financial collapse in 2008, the jobless claims were 600,000. The new jobless claims reported on today, 3.28 million. It's crazy. Will Trump force part of the country to reopen? He doesn't have the power, but he's basically trying to convince his cult members to be stupid. Cuomo can try to be nominated from the floor. Oh, okay. Good question. Yes, I like when you guys are so nice to each other. I like that. Can you read on the status of our prison systems? Good question. There. Kitty in the box. New emoji showed up today. Awesome. I love that. My two little knuckleheads are sound out. They were so tired right before I went online that before they went to their little beds, it wasn't even, do you know that look on toddlers or small animals when they get really, really tired and they have this kind of half crazed look? It was that. AJ's asking, how do you make your sage and salt mixture? I don't have a set thing. I just put mostly salt, and then because dried sage is expensive, I just add enough that I get a certain consistency. Keep it in here. Let me see if you can even see that. I just get it till it's kind of a dirty rice consistency kind of thing. Maybe that's a Louisiana thing, but it's yeah. So I don't have a set thing. It just until it kind of looks like that. If that helps anybody. Oh, and since I'm reaching over here anyway, okay, is Donald Trump a complete idiot? Look good. Okay. Okay. Can Trump force government employees to go back to work? Oh, good question. Jeff Bezos. Does Jeff Bezos care about his employees? Oh, John, you guys have really good questions today. Will Trump lose most of his base if they follow their orange leader? Renee, no, because they're going to be. They have drunk the Kool-Aid. They really have read on this over and over. He's going to lose enough people off the edges that the Republicans will finally turn on him, but there's a chunk of this surprisingly strong base that is just, like Roger Stone with his Nixon tattoo on his back. What about the testing drive-through they spoke about? Walmart the drive-through testing, was it all lies? Well, did you guys see the presser that Trump was in yesterday? Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. At one point, they were talking about that poor man. He was an ex-FBI agent who was, I think he was ex-FBI. He's been a prisoner in Iran for a while now, and he died. There's word that he died, and it's very sad. And Trump said, and I'll see if I can quote this as perfectly as I can. Trump said, when the journalist asked, do you know about this? Do you have any information? He was saying, well, he was sick and he was sick. He got halfway through the word anyway. He was sick anyway. Okay, will the crisis instill more character into the young generation dealing with problems? Robert, they're depending on the person, there's usually something for every generation that they have to deal with. They've got a whole set of problems that we didn't, and they're going to stand up. They're going to do the best they can. How are the immigrants in cages going to fare? I read on that, Jessica. It was I don't know when. It was a while ago, but they're time stamped. Maybe if you do a search, I don't know. But it was one of the saddest. Any readings on that are just heartbreaking. So it's just sad. Is it going to be worse? Yes. Is it going to be apocalyptic? I don't think they were letting me see really well, to be honest. I think it's just really, really, really bad. Whew. Would wild sage along the highways here in Texas be all right for smudging or anything like that? I don't know what wild sage is. Sometimes these names they're actually different plants but I don't know. I don't think a lot of this stuff is as carved in stone as people say. I think if you have salt and if it turns out that's a similar plant, try it. I bet it'll help. Yeah. Janice is asking, will Katie Porter be okay? I will be perfectly honest, I feel terrible. I don't remember who Katie Porter is. Katie Porter. I'm sorry. I'll have to, I'm sorry, I've got so many names in my head. Sorry. Oh, Alternative Health Digital. We have a drive-thru in San Diego. That's good. Oh, and the reason I was telling you about what the Trump's presser yesterday was that he was saying, we're not going to test 350 million people. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We're not going to test, because he keeps repeating himself. We're not going to test 350 million people. You know, he said it like 2 or 3 times. That's ridiculous. Wow. How long will the recession last? Will food be available for everyone to buy? What do you mean, Secret Zelda, what do you mean, will food be available for everyone to buy soon? Is there not food available where you are? Or are you saying, will it be free for everybody? Or food banks are struggling. Grocery stores they've hired extra help, and most of them are doing surprisingly okay. Well, let me see, how long will the recession last? All right, I've got lots of questions here, so I might. Stores are still empty here. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Sacred Zelda, I've read on this early on, and basically there was this movie called Earth. I think it was a documentary that where I worked. I used to put it on as an electronic thing that we were selling in the bookstore. And I'd pull that up off YouTube, and it just starts out with all of these from the sky downward, looking downward views, just crossing over all these multitudes of everything. Just the sheer amount of this, the sheer amount of that, the just all of this stuff. And when I was reading on it, that's what I was getting, that we actually have a lot of stuff. We might be having distribution problem at the moment, but the amount of stores that we have, and I don't mean stores like you go to, but like things stored. Closing the food borders is making it harder for U.S. farmers. Yes, it is. And it is making it harder. But for what it's worth, we are kind of the breadbasket of the world. My understanding is the center of the U.S. is one of the biggest food producers anywhere, like possibly in the whole world. Okay, and let me see if there's anything about. I'm sorry if I missed your question. Autumn, is the government telling the truth about everything that's happening? No, but a lot of that's because of Trump, but we're getting the information from other places, people who will not be quiet. Other parts of the government, the CDC, the NIH, doctors on the ground, nurses on the ground, local politicians. Wondering Eyes is saying, food shortages on eggs, I know, and butter. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, good. Katie, Moonchild's World, Sage Brush does work for smudging and cleansing. Awesome. Good, glad to hear that. Okay. And I just answered about, is the government telling the truth? If it's Trump related, no. If it's coming from somebody else, it's probably a lot closer to the truth. People are not going to be silent. People who've put up with a lot from Trump, they're not going to be silent now. Ew. So let me make this a little bit bigger, and then I will use this. So even though this just took a long time, let me see, what should I do here? Sorry, like I said, I'll have this worked out. At some point here pretty soon. Okay? So just take me a second here. Here, and no further. Make that bigger. And change this to that. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we're at 20 minutes. Okay. So we're starting at about 20, 30? Yeah, about 20, 30. All right then. All right. And I'm using the Gothic novel deck today. I'll be honest with you though, I'm having a little bit of trouble. There's something weird in here where the only problem I'm having, and I might, so if I mess something up, I'm just going by my gut. I know that's a queen. I mean, that is a woman, but no, I can, you know, that's a queen. All right, and that's a knight, like in chess. And I'm guessing this is a chess thing because there's another queen. I'm guessing by this, they mean a pawn. Because this is a page. So I'm looking, I get confused though, because that reminds me of those really elaborate Roman helmets that only the really kind of high ups wore, because they had that great big red crest on it and the whole 9 yards. But anyway, so I've got that, and I hopefully I won't make mistakes, but who knows? It's always a possibility. I need to be able to view this text width, and then I will start reading. Text width. Like I said, first time trying this. Sorry. Sorry, it's not, I don't have this quite worked out yet, but I'm getting there. I am getting there. Okay, good. Okay, I can read that. Did the deck come with a book? It did, but the book is tiny. I mean, it's one of these little things, and it's like just a few pages, because it's English to, that much is English. So, and there are no pictures. But that's fine. Make it work. I'm going pretty heavily by my intuition anyway. All right, now we are at 23. Okay. Is this virus airborne? Rona. It's funny how everybody that I know is starting to refer to it as a she. I just know it, she. It's Sagittarius. That's all I know. With an Sagittarius and Aquarius. It travels widely and shares equally amongst everyone. Is it airborne? Other than, you know, just what they say in the, I'm sorry, this is gross, but droplets. Is the coronavirus airborne? We are going to defeat her. Is it airborne? All right, 3 of Pentacles. Yeah, this is everyone coming together, working together. It feels like hospitals. And some are overrun. And some are suffering or going to suffer under the weight, but some will still be standing. Fair enough. Is this airborne? Wash your hands, everybody. Ace of Cups, 5 of Cups. Queen of Wands, that is the Moon, and the Magician. I'm not getting Airborne out of this. Yeah, I'm getting Wash Your Hands. That's the strongest card here. And social distancing. There's only one person in each of these cards. It feels like they're all social distancing, and I'm not, other than the fact that the butler looks like Chris Christopherson, I am not, I'm getting liquid, fire, people being worried, and with all these tools available right here, one of the darkest jokes that I've shared about the situation is, how do you find out if you have the virus? Cough in a rich person's face and wait for the test to come back. Oh, don't do that. But the wealthy have access to things we don't. There's a healthcare, I think it was a healthcare worker? No. It was somebody who was really doing good things to help the situation in England when I was looking up things about Prince Charles yesterday because I was curious. And she was suspected to have it and she died. And she couldn't get a test. But Prince Charles, oh, he got a test. It's like, I'm not getting Airborne beyond the normal yeah, I think if it was Airborne, this situation would be a lot worse than it is. That Wash Your Hands card, yeah. All right, next question. All right, we're at 27. Why 27? Why is Trump not believing in science and listening to the scientists? He's a malignant narcissist, but let's ask. Let me just shuffle this a little bit. And for anybody who's new, I prefer to shuffle on my lap, just because it tends to be not much, but slightly quieter than this huge reverberating amplifier. But okay, Trump, Dumpy, how you doing today? Okay, why are you not listening to the scientists and science on this matter? Because nobody knows better than me. Wow. And no one knows better than me. No one knows better than me. Nobody. This is all Obama's fault. Cuomo, it's his fault. In this deck, this is the Strength card. It's Major Arcana, but you'll notice she's looking in a mirror. And the message of the card normally is a good one. It's, look for strength within yourself. You have strength within yourself. But this is just a look staring in the mirror malignant narcissist card in this case. All he sees is what's in the mirror. Me, 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 me. All right, Queen of Swords. Knight of Cups. He goes by his gut. He does everything by his gut. Judgment. Page of Pentacles. Oh, Page of Pentacles is what I usually get for Jared. And the Three of Pentacles again. Deep State. They should be, like, there are people in the government he'd like to punch in the face. And I don't mean that metaphorically. Deep State. He even mentioned Deep State recently on one of his recent narcissism parties in the White House briefing room. Yeah, and he listens to Jared. He'll make the best judgment. He goes by what's in his gut. Cups are emotions, and a knight is they act. So he acts on his gut, and only if people listen to him, he's going to say, I'm the only one who can fix it. And it's also a little bit in the background. It doesn't feel like it's one of the main reasons, but it's also to the Queen of Swords. It's to spite. It's because there's Dr. Fauci, but there's also a woman who gets up there, and he knows we're in a crisis, and his natural sexism kicks in. So the main thing is, I alone can fix it, me, and me. But there's also in the background, when female scientists talk, that's what I'm getting. Okay. Next question. How will trucking and drivers fare? Okay, let me shuffle a little. Dave, I just noticed out of the corner of my eye, it's strange that lately whenever someone tries to attack me, it makes me stronger. That's good. But on the other hand, I'm wondering, where are you going and what are you doing that you're being attacked so much? Goodness. Ugh. Maybe we need to get you somewhere safer. Alternative Health Digital. I'm wearing gloves at the ATM and holding cash with gloves, no touching. Sure. He does not know what will happen on Easter, especially on Good Friday. We need a wake-up call. Yeah, don't listen to him. Hillary Clinton, best shade troll piece of truth fact ever. Do not take health advice from a man who stares directly at an eclipse. She tweeted that the other day. It's fantastic. Okay, where are we? We are at 30. Let me see. 32.45. Okay, how will trucking and drivers fare? Let me reach for that energy. Feeling they're as a whole, they're feeling very patriotic. Do our part. They're getting more respect than they normally do. Normally they're just ignored and people cut them off, and they're still getting cut off, but people are looking at them with more respect. People are being more respectful. But how are drivers and how are they going to fare? Oh, I've got that. I don't know the song. I'm afraid I don't know country music, and it's at least something America. At least I know I'm free, and it's died for me. So we need to rise up. I can't, but I've got that song going through my head, and I barely know it, obviously. So sorry about that. Yeah, Two of Cups, partnership. Yeah, they're working together. They're helping each other. I heard a story about one trucker. He got into a grocery store, or he did something, and he bought a whole bunch of fruit and sandwiches and what have you. And he went back to the stop or whatever, and he just handed out bags of supplies to the other drivers there. So they're helping each other as well. All right, Four of Cups. Again, we have the Knight of Cups. We have the Eight of Swords. We have the Six of Cups. And then Judgment. Well, it starts over here with they don't get enough respect. They don't get enough. Their contracts screw them over more than they should. Yeah. There are a lot of people who get into it for there's a nostalgic quality to it. It was either part of the family, it was a part of the family business, a relative, a father, mother, or somebody else did it, or, it's that Americana kind of thing. And they're going to be judged better. They're acting out of the goodness of their hearts now more than ever. But it's still a brutal job. And it's one they've taken on voluntarily. I believe they've lifted the national limits on hours that truckers can drive, and hard. This is just very, very hard. Very, very hard. But they're being treated better than they have. Let me get this card out again. They are being treated better than they have, is what it feels like overall. I could be wrong. And they will be judged better for what they do, but it's a brutal job. It's a brutal, bruising job. There's so much that needs to be moved. There's so much that needs to be moved. And things are closed down that are usually open, and support they get on the road. So I'm sorry to say, I'm just feeling it's just brutal. It was working, but brutal work. Sorry to say. I don't know if that helps. Watergrove saying, hope. Americans make the yummiest barbecue in the world. Sorry it's off topic, but I think it's actually a bragging right of the USA. You guys are the kings of barbecue. I like that. Okay, let's go on to... is there any possibility Andrew Cuomo could be a Democratic nominee for president in the 2020 election, nominated on the floor, or is there any chance that Cuomo... Oh, he definitely is having his moment in the sun. Did you hear Linda G the other day talking about him? And she was like, does anybody know if he's single? I love her. She's great. Oh yeah, he's yes, he's in a terrifying, horrible, horrendous situation. I am not belittling anything by that. I'm just going to try to put this in the funny way that came into my head, just for the humor of it. Yes, he's in the middle of a nightmare in his work, but right now, boy, is he a chick magnet. I'm not saying... he might be in a long-term relationship. I don't know. I'm just saying, right now, he's definitely a chick magnet right now. But is he going to be a 2020 nominee for president? Three of Swords. Oh, they're going to... the people in the powers that be are going to... It feels like they're going to nix anybody who's going to try to butt in or get involved. And it's like, no, if it's likely Biden will have the most number of delegates, and do not try to mess with that, because people are mad and they want to focus the energy, and it's like life or death for every Democrat to get behind one person. No, it's a Chariot. He will be. The thing I love about in this deck, this chauffeur card here, the Chariot card, is it could be either come with me, or it can be I'll drive you home. So, and this feels like an I'll drive you home. And it feels like those pentacles, those gold pentacles and those roses, it feels like they're not for him. He's got a lot on his plate. All right. He's definitely got major goodwill because people are really scared. And he is getting a bit of the spotlight, but this is, thank you very much, but no, this belongs to somebody else. This is not even, and they're yeah, no. Or if there's even an attempt, it's going to be because people really are scared. People really are scared, and it's like, no. We are gonna we're gonna have one nominee, and we are gonna get behind that nominee. And I don't care if it's I've got a great big potted plant over here with a couple of different plants in it. You can pick one. That's fine. So, all right. So we're getting up near 42. And I completely forgot to write down the time for that. Joe Biden's health. Okay, at 42. Joe Biden. Hello, Joe. Uncle Joe, what do you know? How's your health doing? Look, I know he's a politician, and no politicians are perfect, trust me on that one. But compared to these other guys I read on, he really, his heart's in the right place. He's a good guy. Has he taken advantage of perks of his office that are really, yes. Politicians are politicians. There is always, thank you, Jean. There are always questionable things about politicians. You never get a saint coming out of politics. But he is one of the good guys. He's done things wrong. Bernie's done things wrong. Everybody's done things wrong. They're politicians. But anyway, Joe, how's your health? He is, he's okay, but he's weak. He's weak in the way that Trump should be because of Trump's age. But Trump is not being, he's not, I think you can tell him just by looking at Trump that he's not that the others are perfect, but he doesn't like to go au naturel in any way, shape, or form. I know Biden has hair plugs, but you know what I mean. Biden's health. His energy is, it's not perfect, but man, is it better than... Thank you for asking this question and not asking about Mnuchin of Versailles or Renfield Bar, or thank you for letting me read on this nice energy. King of Wands. Yeah, I think he's a Scorpio, but this also might be we're looking for someone to save us. Okay, Seven of Swords, Page of Swords, Lover's card, apparently in this picture, I assumed that was like a photograph of somebody. I was like, that's kind of odd that you'd have a different, or they should have an affair. Turns out that's a mirror. It's like, oh, okay. Anyway. Seven of Swords, Page of Swords, Lovers, Three of Wands, Queen of Pentacles. I don't know what sign his wife is, but I think there are women around him who are keeping a very close eye on his health. I don't think he gets to eat much junk food, or I think his wife is a physician, isn't she? Which would usually come up as cups, but this Pentacles, it's earth signs, it's the physical. And he's definitely being, people are keeping an eye on him, close. At this point, Kate's saying, at this point, I would vote for George W. Hey, I'd vote for him too, as long as we didn't have Cheney in there. Anything's better than Trump, except Cheney. Oh, she's a college professor? Cool, that works too. But they're keeping a close eye on him. And this is quite often, in other decks, this is the insult to injury card. But this actually feels more like he knows what battles to pick. He knows when to be quiet, which way to go. He knows this isn't his first rodeo, and he's being smart. It feels like he's being smart about where he's using his swords. Page of Swords here. This has to do with the youth vote and people trying to help, people who will help him online to try to, get, this is, it's like the partnership card, but it's like it's the major arcana partnership card. It can be good or bad, but it feels good. They're trying to get that along, and he's Three of Wands. He's trying to still be noticed without being obnoxious about it. He's just shining his little torch, don't hide your light under a bushel kind of thing. He's carrying it, but it's not like Trump, where he'd have everybody around him carrying his light, and like he does, and you have to look at this, and you have to what I'm getting from this is he's being looked after very, very closely. I'm mostly getting the flesh aspects of these two, the physical body aspects of these two. And his light isn't as bright as it used to be, but it's still there. He's being very smart about picking his battles. And this just, all I'm getting out of this card is the younger people who are going to go online and do everything in their power to get a Democrat elected against Trump. Where youth vote going. If he's the nominee, they're going right there. That's what I'm getting. So, okay, so we are at 48. The cards are all askew. All right, 4830. Will Queen Elizabeth get the virus? Your Majesty. How you doing, Liz? She's a 93-year-old woman. And she's tough as nails. Are you gonna get this virus, or? A lot of the energy around her has to do with Harry. I know he should be a knight, but she sees him as young. Oh, there's a lot that's been going on. Oh yeah, there's a lot that's been going on. she's very susceptible to getting it. It ends with the queen. It ends with a queen. And look at that great big, look at that shadow, that great big crown. And honey, you should see me in a crown. She's very susceptible. That's not great, but it ends with her sitting pretty tall. England, the UK is going to be hit really hard. Really hard. Really, really, really hard. I'm sorry to say. She's susceptible. They're going to worry like heck if it feels like she does, but it feels like she gets through this. Is that a good or a bad ending? It feels good. Let me see if I can find any more cards. It feels like she's... It doesn't feel like a portrait. Like, oh yes, remember her? It feels like... She just puts it in a much nicer accent. For the virus. Okay, that is the High Priestess. Higher wisdom, secrets, feels like higher wisdom. She's around to be able. This is the strength card. This is right in the middle of this. This is her own strength, and her being around to look at herself in a mirror. And there are things that she has turned down. As people started getting sick, and she was starting to worry. And then we have another page over here. She's very heavily focused on her grandchildren and succession and all that kind of thing. I'm getting that she's going to be okay. I'm going to quickly throw a few cards on Prince Charles because I want to be completely wrong about what I got yesterday. I'm happy to be wrong. If it means somebody isn't going to get hurt, please let me be wrong. I will take that L all day long. Prince Charles. Every time I reach, well, second day in a row. I've never read on the royals before, but second day in a row, reach out to his energy, and it's like, Mr. Stuffy. He has a good side to him, a more jovial, nicer. Like he's a decent enough in general. Like if you have to, make small talk with him, he's pleasant. He's not, but he is no man is he stuffy. So you've got the virus. How's that gonna go? How's it gonna go? That's interesting. That's a decision card. Sorry, that other card I showed for Joe Biden, that 7 of Swords, that's the Thief card. Why? I guess when I shift decks, I get those two mixed up, but the meaning was the same. This is the insult to injury card. Oh boy. 7 of Cups, 10 of Wands, 3 of Swords, 7 of Pentacles. Center of the reading, those 3 cards, that's not good. This feels like delirium or just how you get out of it when you're sick. I'm guessing that's a fever. And heck, that could be, it's being hurt in the lungs. It starts out with, this has kind of been the great equalizer, even though richer people get more access to tests and what have you. But this, I'm going to ask a few more questions about this, because is that he's going to go back to his environmental causes, or is it he's going to be remembered for his environmental cause? Those cards don't feel, they feel like he's going to get really sick, but so far they're saying he's fine, mild symptoms, going to be fine. I asked Sienna what she was getting on him, and she was getting, no, he's going to be okay. Feeling sorry for himself. It's like, okay, so I'm happy to be wrong. Want to be, because I don't want people being hurt. And it would be really hard on morale. Yeah, it's the nostalgia quality of a figure like that. You know, if America, we definitely, the whole point is we kicked out the monarchy, but in general, Americans love the English monarchy, just they're fascinated by it. I don't know if they love it, but they're fascinated by it. And something happening to Prince Charles next in line to the throne, that would be really, really hard on morale. Institutions and the thief card. Worry. This is usually like the building of, in a sense, it's almost like the more human version of the Hierophant. An institution, a building, solid building. But this one in this deck isn't quite as nice. There's some other stuff going on here. And then we have the thief card, which means either he gets medical care that other people can't. What's going on there? Sun card. Whew. Hierophant. King of Pentacles. Well, these are both positive cards. The energy's just not good. That's I will say that. The energy, not good. Not good. Not good. All right, let me get through some others here. At 59. Why does America believe in socialism for the wealthy and rugged individualism for the poor? Why does America believe in welfare for the wealthy and rugged individualism for the poor? Does anyone mind if I use the A word? So, forgive me for putting it this way, because we have it ass backwards. But America, wealthy, why? Wealthy, socialism for the wealthy and rugged individualism for the poor. It goes back. It goes back. I'm getting pictures of like railroads and on the West Coast. Way, way back when they were first building the railroads, and talk about cutthroat. It was literal, and it was so hard to build anything. It wasn't like, oh, get a business license. Like today, you get a business license. You probably make a website. No. This was, you fight off people trying to kill you regularly. And then what they ended up creating, yeah, they would be paid handsomely is an understatement. While the workers would get, the shaft. The government wanted to help them continue on their work, which was good for the country as a whole, good for the government as a whole, good for their government's revenue, good for, and this was back in the day when it was all about idle hands are the devil's playthings, keep the riffraff, keep their hands busy. And it got, and if you just take that through time, it feels like that was the mistake there, and it just expanded over time. But let me see what the cards are saying. Ah, look, nostalgia. I don't know if any of you listen to David Sylvian. My nostalgia. I won't sing it. His voice is fantastic, but it's much deeper than mine. All right, King of Wands. The High Priestess, the Chariot. Is that about railroads? The Hermit. And the Page of Swords. These are young people who are pretty much stuck in the gig economy. Whereas the wealthy, this doesn't just feel like he's alone. It feels like he's, he's in a mansion in New York City where you can't hear everything's soundproof beautifully, and the carpet is like this thick, and and secrets. It was, it's unfair, but they were, this is what I was saying. They were doing good work back then. It isn't just King of Pentacles, they had money, they took action. And that's really what wands are about. Secrets, higher wisdom. Doing that, and then it was good for the government. Yeah. They're super wealthy. The super wealthy stay wealthy, and now the young are in a whole different situation that they can't, it's a new world, it's a different world. And what's going to happen here? Besides, my cards are going to fall out. What is going to happen here between the super wealthy and the haves, the really haves, considering is it like 63 people own like half the wealth in the world? The super haves and the have-nots, which is practically everybody else. What's going to happen here? All right, we have the Eight of Cups. These feel like tin. They feel like they're not, it's like a young person was like, oh, you do this, and this, and you get this nice stuff, and now it's like tin, and it's not gold, and it's nostalgia. 10 of Pentacles. This is families pooling their money together, more a family dynasty in order to keep hold of their money. And 5 of Cups, which is about, I believe it's disappointment. Things are going to change. Things are going to change a lot from where the super wealthy, or the almost super wealthy, are going to start creating more family dynasties. It's going to get harder for them to keep the way things were. Yeah, there's a younger generation coming up. So, TikTok wealthy. Okay, now read on, where am I? I'm at 65:30. Can you read on the status of our prison systems? Oh, this is going to be lovely energy. A crime, a travesty, not just things that people did, but the fact that we have more people incarcerated than anyone else on earth. Any other country. When it feels, I don't know any of this personally. I'm fortunate to have had the advantages I've had, and then to have taken, done the things that I could. So therefore, I've never been in a situation where I needed to steal or have uncontrolled mental health issues or what have you. I'm not saying people in prison are all, none of them deserve to be judged. Oh, yes, they do. There are definitely some people there who we are very glad they are in prison, but not all of them. But when you're in there, you feel like an animal to slaughter. I mean, they may as well tag your ear like you're a cow. Prison systems. Yeah, I think they need to build the prisons on just a huge thick layer of salt and sage. I don't even know if that would help, but it might. They lie a lot. Prisoners lie a lot, so it can be hard to tell what's going on. It can be hard to. They don't necessarily use good judgment. They lie a lot, so it's hard to judge how things are really going. Oh, look, it's the warden. The Emperor. Two of Pentacles, very unsteady energy. Also, that hotel was like a prison. Three of Swords. Wash your hands, everybody. Ace of Cups. Two of Cups. It's better than I would have expected. It's horrible. It's nasty. It doesn't feel like it's going to be worse than the normal population. But it is going to be... there's a whole lot of mental illness in prisons. A whole lot of. And people being scared. And that leading to some ugly... people lashing out at each other. People being more on edge. But Warden sees the unsteady energy, put things in place. It doesn't feel, if it's worse, it doesn't feel much worse than overall. That's what I'm getting. I don't know if that helped any, but oh goodness. Oh, it's so kind. You guys are asking for thumbs up, and I really appreciate that. I also appreciate people who do, but thank you so much. Thank you so much for helping me. I really, really appreciate it. All right, next question. We're almost at 70. Oh, can Trump force government employees to go back to work? Oof. First there was a government shutdown, and now is Trump going to try to create a government massacre. I don't think he'd do it on purpose. He's just that incompetent. Now, will they come back? That's a whole different thing. But will Trump? Can Trump? Will it's not really can. It's will Trump force government employees to go back to work on April 13th? Yeah, there's not always a lot of can Trump do X, Y, or Z. It's will he? Because, oh, that's not possible. Does it anyway. That's illegal. So, will Trump force government employees? I'm seeing a very proud African American woman just reading, even if Trump can't hear it, even if it's at a TV, she's just reading him the riot act. Good for you. Do you need a throat lozenge? I'll set you up. Tea, soothe the throat, whatever you need. I'm behind you 100%. Judgment, and the bad judgment thereof. Bad judgment. Yeah, judgment. Lack of. Oh look, turned upside down. It's a lack of judgment. It's Trump. Okay, Six of Pentacles, card of generosity. Oh boy, because they're desperate. In a lot of this stuff that was just passed or is about to be passed, there's very little for Washington, D.C., I believe. And if there's not enough for D.C., not good. All right, I've got the Six of Pentacles, I've got the Tower. I've got the Knight of Cups, I have the Two of Swords, and I have the Knight of Wands. Ooh, not good energy. Yuck. 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 Ew, do I have to say this? Okay. Card of generosity, they need help. They need, the government employees, they need help. They need the income, they're desperate. They're in a terrible shape. And Knight of Cups, it's kind of their hope, their faith, their keeping the faith, keeping hope, trying to make the decision which way to do. But I don't like this. Knight of Wands. The virus, they believe came from bats. If not, a live animal market anyway. And it feels like the desperate shape, they have hope, make the decision, should we not, but DC, Virginia, that area, they might be in the middle of their upward climb. Whereas you don't need to make a decision because there's no way on God's bat-filled earth that you can go out in that. Kate, I've read on that before. Will Trump be brought up on crimes against humanity from the World Court? I got no. Unfortunately. Okay, I'm afraid I'm going to have to leave it there. I'm curious about that Jeff Bezos question and the economy, but I'm getting tired. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 questions today. All right, and I will be back tomorrow without fail at 12 o'clock Central Time in the US. And thank you so much for being here. Yeah, if you could hit the like button, that would help. I would really appreciate it. But you guys hang in there, okay? And I'll see you tomorrow. And we'll cover more things. And we'll support each other. And Just hang in there, okay? I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye.